The Velen scout ship moved slowly through the dark space. It had been traveling for 300 years. The ship was old and tired, but it still worked. Inside, Commander Relos sat alone in his chair. He watched the stars pass by on his screen. His gray skin looked pale under the blue lights of the control room. Relos was not expecting to find anything new. The Velen people had mapped most of the galaxy long ago. They knew where every planet was. They knew which worlds had life and which ones were empty rocks floating in darkness. This area of space was supposed to be boring. Just old stars and dead planets. Nothing special, but then his scanner made a sound. A small beep that changed everything. Rylos looked at his screen. There was a solar system ahead. 8 planets circling a yellow star. This was normal. Many systems looked like this. But the third planet from the star was different. It was blue and green. It had water. It had clouds. And most importantly, it had signals coming from it. Radio waves, television broadcasts, satellite communications. The planet was screaming into space, and nobody had ever heard it before. Rylos felt his heart beat faster. In 5,000 years of galactic history, only 47 intelligent species had been discovered. Finding a new one was rare. It was important. It would make him famous. He pressed a button and recorded everything. The planet's location, its size, the type of signals it was sending. Then he sent all of this information to the Galactic Council. The message would take 2 days to arrive, but Relos did not mind waiting. He had just made the discovery of a lifetime. Far away, on a space station the size of a small moon, the Galactic Council received the message. The council was made of representatives from all 47 known species. They met in a great hall with seats arranged in circles, 1 circle for each species. At the center was a large holographic display that could show anything in the galaxy. When Relis's message arrived, it caused immediate excitement. Council members rushed to their seats. Translators worked overtime to help everyone understand each other. The hall filled with the sounds of 100 different languages, all speaking at once. High Counselor Vorn stood at the center platform. He was a tall creature with 4 arms and silver eyes. His species, the Keth, had been part of the council for 3,000 years. He had seen many things, but he had never seen a new species discovered in his lifetime. Vorn raised all 4 hands for silence. The hall became quiet. "We have received word from a Velen scout ship," Vorn said. His voice was deep and calm. "A new planet has been found. A planet with intelligent life." The hall exploded with noise again. Species that had been enemies for centuries forgot their anger. This was too important. A new species meant new ideas, new technology, new trade. Or it could mean new problems, new wars, new dangers. Nobody knew yet. Vorn called for silence again. "The planet is called Earth by its inhabitants. They are a species called humans. We will now observe them and learn what kind of creatures they are." The holographic display came to life. It showed the blue planet spinning slowly. Then it showed images that the humans had sent into space. Pictures of their cities, videos of their history, radio shows and television programs. Everything that humanity had ever broadcast was now being studied by the entire galaxy. At first, the council members were not impressed. The humans looked weak. They had no natural weapons. No claws, no fangs, no armor. Their bodies were soft and easy to damage. They could not survive in cold places without special clothing. They could not survive in hot places without water. They needed to eat and sleep every single day or they would die. Counselor Myra, from the insect-like Veth species, made a clicking sound with her mouth. "These creatures are fragile," she said. "They will not survive long in the galaxy. Perhaps we should not waste our time with them." Many council members agreed. The humans seemed like nothing special, just another weak species on a distant planet. They would probably destroy themselves before they ever left their solar system. But then the council began to look deeper. They studied human history, and what they found made them very uncomfortable. The humans had been at war with each other for thousands of years. They fought over land, over resources, over ideas. Millions of them had died in these conflicts. Entire cities had been burned to the ground. Weapons had been created that could destroy whole countries in seconds. And yet, after every war, the humans rebuilt. They made their cities bigger and stronger. They made their weapons more powerful. They did not give up. They did not surrender. They kept fighting, kept building, kept growing. Councilor Tail, from the peaceful orange species, felt fear growing in his stomach. His people had never known war. They had evolved on a paradise planet where food was everywhere and danger was rare. The idea of fighting your own kind was impossible to him. "These creatures are insane," Tail whispered. "They destroy themselves over and over, and they call it progress." The council watched as human history played out on the display. They saw plagues that killed half the population. They saw ice ages that froze the land. They saw asteroids that struck the Earth and blocked out the sun. Each time, the experts thought the humans would die. Each time, the humans survived. High Councilor Vorn stroked his chin with one of his hands. He had lived for 800 years. He had seen species rise and fall. He had watched civilizations crumble into dust. But he had never seen anything like humans before. "They do not stop," he said quietly. "No matter what happens to them, they do not stop." The hall was silent now. Every council member was watching the display. They saw humans climbing mountains that could kill them. They saw humans diving into oceans so deep that the pressure would crush their bodies. They saw humans walking on their own moon, a place with no air and no life. Why would any species do these things? Why would they risk death for no reason? The answer came slowly, and it terrified everyone who understood it. Humans did these things because they wanted to, because they were curious, because they refused to accept limits. The universe told them they could not survive, and they disagreed. Commander Relos, still sitting in his old scout ship, received a response from the council. It was short and simple. Continue observation. Do not make contact. Repeat, do not make contact. Relos read the message 3 times. In all his years of service, he had never received an order like this. Usually, when a new species was found, the council sent diplomats immediately. They wanted to establish trade and friendship as fast as possible, but this time was different. The council was afraid. Relos looked at the blue planet on his screen. It looked so peaceful from this distance, so beautiful and calm. He could see the clouds moving across its surface. He could see the lights of cities glowing in the darkness of night. Somewhere down there, billions of humans were living their lives. They did not know that the galaxy was watching them. They did not know that their every broadcast was being studied and analyzed. They did not know that for the first time in history, the Galactic Council was scared of a species that had not even left its own planet yet. Relos leaned back in his chair and watched the Earth spin. He had a feeling that the galaxy would never be the same again. Ambassador Tail stood at the center of the Galactic Council chamber. The holographic display behind him showed images of Earth, blue oceans, green forests, white clouds. It looked so peaceful from space, so beautiful. But Tail knew the truth now. That beautiful world was a machine for creating survivors. Every seat in the chamber was filled. Representatives from all 47 species had come to hear his report. The room was silent. No one whispered. No one moved. They all waited to learn the fate of the galaxy. Tail took a deep breath. His thin body trembled slightly. He had practiced this speech many times on his journey back from Earth, but now that the moment had arrived, he felt afraid. Not of the council, not of punishment for failing. He was afraid because he knew that what he was about to say would change everything. "I have met the humans," Tail began. His voice was steady despite his fear. "I have spoken with their leaders. I have observed their behavior. And I must tell you that we were wrong about them." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Counselor Mira clicked her mouth nervously. High Counselor Vaughn raised one hand, asking for silence. "Wrong in what way?" Vaughn asked. "Are they more dangerous than we thought? Less dangerous?" Tail closed his large eyes for a moment. "Neither," he said. "We were wrong in how we understood them. We saw their violence and called them savages. We saw their wars and called them primitive. But we missed the larger truth." He gestured to the display behind him. Images began to appear. Humans building cities. Humans healing the sick. Humans exploring the ocean depths. Humans reaching for the stars. "Every species in this council evolved on a safe world," Tail said. "The Keth homeworld has gentle seasons and abundant food. The Arn homeworld has no predators larger than a small pet. The Vel homeworld has perfect weather and stable ground. We evolved in comfort. We learned to avoid danger because we had that choice." He changed the display. Now it showed Earth's history. Massive volcanoes erupting. Glaciers covering entire continents. Asteroids striking the surface. Plagues spreading across populations. "But Earth is not a safe world," Tail continued. "Earth is what our scientists call a death world. Everything on that planet is trying to kill everything else. The weather changes without warning. The ground shakes and splits open. The water rises and drowns entire cities. Diseases appear and kill millions. And yet, despite all of this, the humans survived." Counselor Myra stood up. Her insect wings buzzed with agitation. "This is impossible," she said. "No intelligent species could evolve on such a world. The odds are too small." "And yet they did," Tail replied. "Not because they were lucky, because they refused to die. Every threat that their world threw at them, they overcame. Every disaster that should have ended their species, they survived. They did not evolve to be safe. They evolved to be unstoppable." The chamber exploded with noise. Species that rarely agreed were now talking to each other in worried tones. High Counselor Vaughn had to call for silence 3 times before order was restored. TAE. Al continued with his report. "I learned many things during my visit. The humans consume poison for pleasure. They drink alcohol, which damages their brains. They eat plants that burn their mouths. They inhale smoke that destroys their lungs. And they do this by choice. For fun." Shocked gasps echoed through the chamber. The tall representative covered his large ears as if the words themselves were painful. "They keep predators in their homes," Tail said. "Animals with teeth and claws that could kill them sleep in their beds. They call these creatures pets and treat them like family members. They trust killers because they have domesticated killing." More gasps. More worried whispers. "Their bodies repair themselves automatically. Broken bones grow back together. Cut skin heals and closes. Some organs can regenerate if damaged. They are living repair systems that never stop working." Tail paused. He looked around the chamber at the frightened faces. He understood their fear. He had felt it too at first. But he had also seen something else on Earth. Something that gave him hope. "But here's what frightened me most," Tail said. "When I offered them the protection of the Galactic Council, they laughed. Not in anger. Not in mockery. They laughed because the idea of needing protection was funny to them. They have faced extinction 12 times in their history. 12 times they were supposed to die, and 12 times they refused. High Councilor Vorn leaned forward in his seat. His silver eyes were wide. "What are you saying, Ambassador? Are the humans a threat to us?" Tails shook his head slowly. "No, not if we treat them with respect. The humans I met were friendly and curious. They wanted to learn about the galaxy. They wanted to meet new species. They were excited about the future. Then why should we fear them?" Vorn asked. Tails' voice dropped to almost a whisper. "Because they do not fear anything. The humans have no natural predators. They hunted their predators to extinction. They have no rival species. They eliminated all competition. They have no limits. Every boundary that nature set for them, they broke." He turned to face the entire chamber. "We have built our civilization on caution, on safety, on avoiding danger. But the humans built their civilization on conquering danger. They do not run from problems. They solve them. They do not hide from threats. They destroy them." The chamber was completely silent now. Every representative understood what Tail was saying. "If we welcome the humans as equals," Tail continued, "they will be our greatest allies. Their creativity, their determination, their absolute refusal to accept defeat, these qualities will make the galaxy stronger. They will solve problems we have struggled with for millennia. They will explore regions of space that we were too afraid to enter. And if we do not welcome them?" Vorn asked. Tail's large eyes grew sad. "Then they will come anyway. In 100 years, perhaps 200, they will have ships that can travel between stars. They will spread across the galaxy like a force of nature. And if they find that we tried to stop them, tried to control them, tried to limit their growth, they will not forget. They do not forget anything." The council debated for 7 days after Tail's report. Species that had never agreed before found common ground. Species that had been rivals for centuries made peace. The humans had done something remarkable without even trying. They had united the galaxy through fear. On the 8th day, High Councilor Vorn made an official announcement. Earth was classified as a Class 12 death world, the highest danger rating possible. Its inhabitants, the humans, were designated as apex survivors. They were to be treated with extreme caution and maximum respect. The council voted to extend an invitation of friendship to the humans, not as junior members needing guidance, but as equals deserving respect. Special ambassadors would be sent to Earth to begin diplomatic relations. Trade agreements would be offered. Technology would be shared. And most importantly, a warning would be sent to every species in the galaxy. Do not threaten the humans. Do not attack the humans. Do not give the humans any reason to see you as an enemy, because if you did, there would be no negotiation, no surrender, no mercy. The humans would come for you, and they would not stop until you were destroyed. Tail watched the vote from his seat in the chamber. He thought about Sunwoo and Hana. He thought about their calm smiles and confident voices. They had seemed so ordinary, so friendly, so normal. But behind those smiles was something ancient and terrible. The spirit of a species that had fought its way out of the darkness. The will of a people who had looked into the abyss and conquered it. The galaxy had no idea what was coming, but it was about to find out. The news spread across the galaxy like a wave of cold water. Every planet, every station, every ship received the same message. A new species had been discovered. They lived on a death world. They were coming. On the frozen planet of Vel Prime, the people gathered in their underground cities to discuss the humans. The Vel were tall and thin, with white skin and black eyes. They had survived for thousands of years by hiding from the harsh surface of their world. Safety was their highest value. Caution was their way of life. Elder Sora stood before the Council of Elders. Her voice echoed through the ice halls. "We must prepare our defenses," she said. "We must seal our borders. We must make sure the humans cannot reach us." The other elders nodded in agreement. Fear had already taken hold. Stories of the humans spread through the population like a disease. They consumed poison. They kept predators as pets. They rebuilt cities that disasters destroyed. They were not natural. They were not normal. Within 1 month, Vel Prime had closed all contact with outside worlds. Their trading ships stayed home. Their diplomats returned. They had decided to hide and hoped the humans would not find them. But the Vel were not alone in their fear. On the jungle world of Karth, the lizard-like Karth people held an emergency meeting. Their planet was considered dangerous by galactic standards. Massive creatures roamed the forests. Poisonous plants grew everywhere. The Karth had evolved to be strong and fast. Natural hunters who feared nothing. Until now. General Rock stood before his troops. His scales were dark green, and his teeth were sharp. He had led his people in battle against many enemies. He had never known defeat. "I have read the reports about the humans," he said. His voice was hard and cold. "They are smaller than us, weaker than us. They have no claws, no fangs, no armor. On paper, they should be easy prey." His soldiers laughed. They were the finest warriors on Karth. They could not imagine losing to such soft creatures. "But the reports also say that the humans have conquered their world," Rock continued. "They have killed every predator that threatened them. They have tamed creatures that should have eaten them. They have survived disasters that would have wiped out our species 10 times over." The laughter stopped. "These humans do not fight like us," Rock said. "They do not rely on strength or speed. They use their minds. They build weapons. They make plans. They never stop adapting." He paused, looking at each of his soldiers. "If we fight them, we will lose. Not today, not tomorrow, but eventually, because they will learn from every battle, and they will come back stronger each time." The Karth did not close their borders like the Vel. They were too proud for that. But they began to train differently. They studied human tactics. They learned human weapons. They prepared for a war they hoped would never come, on the paradise world of Auran, where Ambassador Tail had been born. The reaction was different. The Auran had never known violence. Their world was perfect. Food grew everywhere. The weather was always pleasant. They had evolved to be peaceful because they had never needed to fight. High Priestess Luna gathered her people in the great temple. Sunlight streamed through crystal windows, filling the room with rainbow colors. The Auran sat in circles, their thin bodies swaying gently as they listened. "We have heard the stories of the humans," Luna said. Her voice was like music, soft and beautiful. "Many species are afraid of them. They are building walls and training armies. But we will not do these things." Confused murmurs spread through the temple. The Auran did not understand. If the humans were dangerous, should they not protect themselves? "The humans are not our enemies," Luna continued. "They are survivors. They have suffered more than any species we know. War, disease, disaster. They have faced it all and kept going. This does not make them evil. It makes them strong." She raised her thin arms, and the temple fell silent. "We will welcome the humans when they come. We will offer them friendship and peace. We will show them that not everything in the universe wants to hurt them. Perhaps, after so much pain, they will be grateful for kindness." Some Auran agreed with their priestess. Others were not so sure. But none of them prepared for war. That was not their way. Back on the Galactic Council station, Councilor Vorn watched the reactions from different worlds. Some species were hiding. Some were preparing to fight. Some were trying to make friends. Everyone was doing something, because no one could ignore the humans. Analyst Yuna and her partner Minho continued their observations of Earth. They watched as the humans learned about the galaxy. Ambassador Tail had given them communication devices that could reach the Council Station. Now, human scientists and diplomats were talking to alien representatives every day. The conversations were fascinating. The humans asked questions about everything. They wanted to know about faster-than-light travel. They wanted to know about alien medicine. They wanted to know about the history of the galaxy. Their curiosity was endless, but they also shared things about themselves. They talked about their art and music. They explained their philosophy and religion. They described their dreams for the future. And slowly, the galaxy began to understand them better. Minho studied a recording of a human named Jisoo. She was a scientist who had sent a message to the council explaining human biology. Minho played the recording for the 100th time. "We are not designed to survive," Jisoo said in the recording. Her voice was calm and friendly. "Our bodies are fragile. We get sick easily. We cannot survive extreme heat or cold without help. By all logic, we should have gone extinct long ago." She smiled, and there was something fierce behind that smile. "But we are still here. We learned to make tools. We learned to make fire. We learned to make medicine. We learned to make cities. Every problem that tried to destroy us, we solved. That is what it means to be human. We never give up. We never accept defeat. We keep going until we win." Minho turned off the recording. His blue fur was standing straight up again. Even after months of study, the humans still amazed and terrified him. "They are not stronger than us," he said to Yuna. "They are not faster. They are not smarter. But they have something that no other species has." "What is that?" Yuna asked. Minho thought for a long moment before answering. "Hope. They believe that any problem can be solved. Any enemy can be defeated. Any challenge can be overcome. They do not accept limits. And because of that, they have no limits." 100 years later, human ships traveled across the galaxy. They made friends with many species. They made enemies with a few. But no one ever truly defeated them. Every war they fought, they won. Every disaster they faced, they survived. Every challenge thrown at them, they conquered. The galaxy had been watching them in terror since that first discovery. But eventually, that terror turned to respect. And finally, it turned to admiration. The humans had come from a death world. They had crawled out of darkness and reached for the stars. And now the stars belonged to them. High Counselor Vorn, in the final years of his long life, recorded one last message for future generations. "We thought we were watching the birth of a threat," he said. "We were wrong. We were watching the birth of legends. The humans are not our enemies. They are our teachers. They have shown us what it truly means to survive. And for that, the galaxy will be forever grateful." The message ended. The recording was stored in the great archives. And somewhere out among the stars, a human ship continued its journey into the unknown, carrying the hopes and dreams of a species that had never learned how to quit. Ambassador Tail's ship descended through the clouds. It was night on this side of Earth, and the cities below glowed like scattered stars. So many lights, so many humans, billions of them, living their lives, completely unaware that an alien visitor was about to change everything. Tail had chosen his landing spot carefully. A rooftop in the city of Seoul. The building belonged to a secret organization that studied space signals. For years, these humans had been listening for signs of alien life. Tonight, they would finally get their answer. The ship landed silently. Its engines made no sound, no light. The Aran had perfected stealth technology thousands of years ago. Tail did not want to cause panic. He wanted a quiet, peaceful first meeting. He stepped out of his ship and looked around. The night air was cool. The city sounds rose up from below. Cars, music, voices. Humans were always making noise. They filled every moment with activity. Even now, in the middle of the night, their world was alive with energy. Two figures waited for him on the rooftop. They had received his message 3 hours ago. He had asked for representatives who could speak for their species. He had promised that he came in peace. And now, here they were. The first figure was a tall man with a straight back and sharp eyes. His name was Sunwoo. He was a general in his country's military. He had fought in wars and seen death many times. His face showed no fear, only curiosity. The second figure was a woman with a calm expression and careful movements. Her name was Hana. She was a diplomat, trained to talk with foreign leaders and solve problems with words instead of weapons. Her eyes were intelligent and watchful. Tail walked toward them slowly. His body was thin and pale. His eyes were too large for his face. His movements were gentle, almost floating. He looked nothing like a human, but he hoped they would not be afraid. Sunwoo and Hana did not move. They did not run. They did not scream. They simply watched the alien approach with calm expressions. Tail stopped a few steps away from them. He bowed his head, a gesture of respect that was common among many species. "I am Tail," he said. His voice was soft and musical. "I come from a world very far from here. I represent the Galactic Council, an organization of 47 species who have joined together in peace. I am here to meet you and learn about your kind." Sunwoo looked at Hana. Hana looked at Sunwoo. Then both of them smiled. Tail was confused. He had expected many reactions: fear, anger, shock. But smiles? Why were they smiling? Hana stepped forward. "We have been waiting for this moment for a very long time," she said. Her voice was warm and friendly. "Please, come inside. It is cold out here, and we have much to discuss." Tail followed them into the building. His heart was racing. This was not what he had expected at all. The humans were not afraid of him. They were excited, happy, as if meeting an alien was the most natural thing in the world. They entered a large room filled with screens and computers. Other humans were there, staring at Tail with wide eyes. But no one screamed. No one ran. They just watched, fascinated, like children seeing a new animal for the first time. Sunwoo offered Tail a seat. The chair was too small for his body, but Tail sat anyway. He did not want to be rude. "You said you represent 47 species," Sunwoo said. "That means there are many more worlds like ours. Many more civilizations." "Yes," Tail said. "The galaxy is full of life. We have explored it for thousands of years. But your world is special. You are the first new species we have discovered in a very long time." Hana leaned forward. Her eyes were bright with curiosity. "Why did you wait so long to contact us?" "Our signals have been traveling through space for over 100 years. Tail hesitated. He did not know how to explain the truth. The council had been afraid. They had watched the humans and seen their violence, their wars, their endless conflicts. They had worried that humans would be dangerous. But looking at Sunwoo and Hana now, Tail did not see monsters. He saw intelligent beings who wanted to learn and explore. Perhaps the council had been wrong about them. "We wanted to understand you first," Tail said carefully. "Your species is very different from others we have met. You have survived many disasters that would have destroyed weaker races. You have technology that advances faster than anyone expected. The council wanted to make sure that first contact would be safe for everyone." Sunwoo laughed. It was a deep, rumbling sound that startled Tail. "Safe?" Sunwoo said. "You were worried that we might be dangerous?" Tail nodded slowly. "Your history contains much violence. We were not sure what you would do when you learned about the galaxy." Sunwoo and Hannah exchanged another look. This time, there was something else in their eyes. Not anger, but something like sadness. Understanding. "Yes, we have fought many wars," Hannah said. "We have made many mistakes. But we have also learned from those mistakes. We know now that working together is better than fighting. Most of us, anyway." Tail felt hope rising in his chest. These humans were reasonable. They admitted their flaws. They wanted to be better. Perhaps the Council's fears were unnecessary. "The galaxy has many threats," Tail said. "Asteroid storms, dying stars, hostile species that attack without warning. The Council exists to protect its members from these dangers. If your species joins us, you will have allies. You will have protection. You will never be alone again." Sunwoo's expression changed. His eyes grew hard. His smile disappeared. "Protection?" he said. "You think we need protection?" Tail felt a chill run through his thin body. He had said something wrong. But what? Hannah put a gentle hand on Sunwoo's arm. "What the General means," she said, "is that we are very capable of protecting ourselves. We have faced many threats already. Ice ages, plagues, natural disasters, wars. Each time, people told us we would not survive. Each time, we proved them wrong." Sunwoo nodded. His voice was calm but firm. "We have walked on our moon. We have sent machines to other planets. We have split the atom and used its power. We are not a weak species waiting to be saved. We are survivors." Tail understood now. The humans were not afraid because they had never learned to be afraid. Every challenge had made them stronger. Every disaster had been overcome. They had faced extinction many times, and they had won every single time. This was not a species that needed protection. This was a species that might one day protect others. "I see," Tail said quietly. "Then perhaps the relationship between our peoples will be different than I expected. Perhaps we have as much to learn from you as you have to learn from us." Sunwoo's expression softened. He reached out and patted Tail's thin arm, a human gesture of friendship. "That is a good start," Sunwoo said. "Respect goes both ways. Treat us as equals, and we will be the best friends you ever had." Hannah smiled. "But try to control us or threaten us, and you will see why we have survived for so long." Tail believed her. Every word. He had come to Earth expecting to meet a primitive species that needed guidance. Instead, he had met something far more impressive. A species that had looked death in the face and laughed odd as he prepared to return to his ship. Tail made a decision. He would tell the Council the truth. The humans were not a threat to be feared. They were a force to be respected. And if the galaxy was smart, it would welcome them as partners, not subjects, because the alternative was unthinkable. The humans had conquered their own world. They would not hesitate to conquer the stars. 6 months passed since the discovery of Earth. The Galactic Council had created a special team to study the humans. They called it the Earth Observation Division. 50 of the smartest scientists from different species worked together in a research station near the solar system. Their job was simple. Watch the humans. Learn everything about them. Report any dangers to the Council. Analyst Yuna was one of the youngest members of the team. She was from the Keth species, like High Counselor Vorn. She had silver eyes and 4 arms, though 2 of them were smaller than the others. She had studied alien cultures for 30 years, which was young for her kind. Her partner was an older scientist named Minho. He was from the Tal species. His body was covered in soft blue fur, and he had large ears that could hear sounds from very far away. Together, Yuna and Minho spent their days watching human broadcasts. They translated human languages. They studied human art and music. They tried to understand how humans thought and felt and dreamed. At first, it seemed like a normal assignment. Every new species had its strange habits. The Veth ate their dead as a sign of respect. The Orange sang instead of speaking. The Keth slept for 3 months every year. Every culture was different, and the scientists were used to seeing unusual things. But humans were not just unusual. They were terrifying. One morning, Yuna was watching a human news broadcast. The screen showed a city that had been destroyed by a massive wave of water. Buildings had fallen. Roads had disappeared. Thousands of people were dead or missing. The humans called it a tsunami. Yuna felt sick as she watched the images. So much death. So much destruction. She expected the humans to give up, to abandon the area and never return. That was what any sensible species would do. But then the broadcast continued. It showed humans digging through the rubble with their bare hands. It showed them pulling survivors from the wreckage. It showed them setting up tents and handing out food and water. Doctors worked without sleep. Volunteers came from other countries to help. Within 1 year, the city was rebuilt. Not just rebuilt, but made stronger. Better walls were constructed to hold back future waves. Warning systems were created to give people time to escape. The humans had taken a disaster and turned it into an opportunity to improve. Yuna showed the recording to Minho. His large ears flattened against his head, a sign of deep worry. "This is not normal behavior," Minho said. "When my people face disaster, we mourn for generations. We build monuments to the dead and avoid the dangerous place forever. But these humans, they run toward the danger. They challenge it. They refuse to be defeated by nature itself. The more they studied, the more disturbed they became. They watched humans climb frozen mountains where the air was too thin to breathe. They watched humans explore caves so deep that no light could reach them. They watched humans swim in oceans filled with creatures that could eat them whole. And always, the humans came back for more. Yuna found a human word that perfectly described this behavior. The word was stubborn. It meant refusing to change your mind or give up, even when everyone told you that you were wrong. Humans were the most stubborn creatures in the known galaxy. One day, Minho discovered something that made his blue fur stand straight up in alarm. He called Yuna over to his screen immediately. "Look at this," he said. His voice was shaking. The screen showed a human medical procedure. A human's chest was cut open, and doctors were working on the organs inside. But the human was still alive, still breathing. The doctors were replacing a broken heart with a healthy one from a dead human. Yuna could not believe what she was seeing. They take parts from dead bodies and put them in living bodies? Yes, Minho said. They call it organ transplant. They have been doing it for many years. Hearts, lungs, kidneys, even eyes. They treat their bodies like machines that can be repaired and upgraded. This was impossible for most species. The Keth considered the body sacred. To cut it open was a terrible crime. The Tau believed that the spirit lived in every organ, and removing one would destroy a person's soul. But humans did not care about these beliefs. If a part was broken, they fixed it. Simple as that. As the months went on, the observation team discovered more and more shocking things about humans. They learned that humans consume poison for fun. They drank alcohol, which killed brain cells. They ate spicy food that burned their mouths and caused them pain. They smoked plants that damaged their lungs. And they did all of this by choice, for pleasure. They learned that humans kept predators as pets. Animals with sharp teeth and claws lived inside human homes. The humans fed them and played with them and let them sleep in their beds. These animals, called dogs and cats, could easily hurt a human. But humans trusted them completely. They learned that humans healed from injuries that would kill most species. Broken bones grew back together. Cut skin sealed itself closed. Even parts of some organs could regrow if damaged. Human bodies were like living repair systems that never stopped working. Yuna compiled all of her findings into a report. She spent 3 weeks writing it and checking every fact. When she finished, she sent it to the Galactic Council with a single recommendation. Do not make contact with humans until we understand them better. They are too dangerous and too unpredictable. We need more time. The Council agreed. The order to avoid contact was extended for another 5 years. But some council members were not satisfied with just watching. They wanted to know if humans were friendly or hostile. They wanted to know what would happen if the galaxy revealed itself. High Counselor Vorn held a private meeting with the senior council members. The room was dark and quiet. No one wanted to speak first. Finally, Counselor Tail broke the silence. We cannot hide forever, he said. The humans are developing faster than we expected. In a few hundred years, they will have ships that can travel between stars. They will find us eventually. Is it not better to meet them on our terms? Counselor Mira clicked her mouth nervously. But what if they are hostile? What if they see us as enemies? Their history is filled with war. They might attack us without warning. Vorn raised one hand for silence. His silver eyes were tired. He had not slept well since the discovery of Earth. I have studied the reports carefully, he said. The humans are dangerous, yes, but they are also curious. They want to explore. They want to learn. They want to meet new species. Perhaps that curiosity can be our advantage. The council debated for many hours. Some wanted to hide. Some wanted to make contact. Some wanted to destroy the humans before they became a threat. That last suggestion was rejected quickly. If the humans could survive plagues and ice ages and nuclear weapons, what chance did the council have? In the end, they reached a decision. They would send one ambassador to Earth, just one. He would meet the humans in secret, away from cameras and crowds. He would test their reactions and report back to the council. If the meeting went well, the galaxy would welcome a new species. If the meeting went badly, the galaxy would prepare for war. Counselor Tail was chosen for the mission. He was the most peaceful member of the council. His species had never known violence. If anyone could make friends with the humans, it was him. El accepted the mission without hesitation. He believed in the goodness of all living things. He believed that friendship was always possible. He did not understand why everyone was so afraid of the humans. But as his ship approached Earth, as he saw the blue planet growing larger in his window, he felt a strange chill run through his body. Something was waiting for him down there. Something that the galaxy had never faced before. And for the first time in his long life, Tail wondered if peace was truly possible with creatures who had learned to love war.